We're live now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on into another Monday Live with the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Matt.
Today we are joined by Leanne from Scotch on the Bayou, and we are really excited to have her here talking about Islay Night.
Yes. Thanks for coming on, Leanne. Really appreciate it, and look forward to hearing about your trip and talking about everything Islay. Should be an amazing evening.
Thank you. I'm excited about it. Oh darn, make me talk about one whiskey or two, Islay, and I will. I will just chew your ear off all night long because they're both really fun to talk about.
Absolutely, you're not kidding. That's for sure. All right, so first, a couple of matters. One of our buddies, Eric Erickson, his grandmother Doris passed away recently, and he said she liked an old fashioned. So he gave us the Nick Offerman edition of Lagavulin 11 years. So I made an old fashioned with the Nick Offerman Lagavulin for Eric's grandmother. So I wanted to say cheers to her and good health in there in heaven and everything. And hope the rest of your family keeps your thoughts and prayers and all that good stuff. So cheers, Eric, and to your family.
Cheers, Eric.
Cheers, Eric.
Actually, an old fashioned Lagavulin Nick Offerman is freaking delicious.
I can imagine it would be.
All right, one other thing we got to do is our buddy Bud Matthews is unfortunately in the hospital. So he's a huge fan of Mr. Nick Offerman, huge Lagavulin fan. So he's unfortunately got a horrible infection. He had surgery as an infection. We also cheers him to good health and get out of the hospital as soon as possible. So cheers to you, Bud. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Yep, Bud. See if they'll slip a little of that 16 Lagavulin in your drip.
That's right.
There you go. Straight into the bloodstream.
That's right. It'll cure everything. All right, so now let's see who's in the chat this evening. Let's see who we've got. We got Benjamin Eves, Ben Demon Hunter, Arthur Lopez, Moose Chan, Donald Rance, let's see, Mark JG, Lynx Cat, who we just picked up Laphroaig lore. Excellent. All right, Terry D. No Scotch, but Eagle Road. That'll work. Hey, Kilco. Check out Kilco and the Rock Out Review, which is Ed. He's in there. All right, let's see here. We got Wheels. Hey, Brennan, how's it going? Chris Beaton. Let's see what else we got. Chad Adams. Jason Masson Drum. Oh, yeah, it's going to be great, Jason, for sure. Let's see. Who else is in here? They're all talking so much.
Yeah, they've been going on for a little while.
And Captain Make It Happens in there. All right, so that's what I see for the moment. So anybody else comes in, we'll certainly call you in. So I guess, Lee, why don't you tell them how you ended up over in Islay and how you got into Scotch and all this good stuff?
Well, it's kind of a two-part story. First part is I never really drank Scotch until about 3 years ago when I took a solo trip to Scotland in 2016. And people, like you meet somebody, you say, oh, hey, what do you do? Instead of saying that, I usually ask people, how do you pay for your whiskey? This is not exactly always, your vocation is not as always the most important thing, but I do, I'm a technical writer. So I like to know how processes work and how things go and all that type of thing. So I was going to a music festival in Jura. So I was on the West Coast. I was in Skye, and I made my way down, and I stopped in Oban. And I'm like, man, they've got a distillery right here in the middle of the town. I'll just go see and take the tour and see how this works, And you get in there, and they show you there's 3 different ingredients. There's water, there's malt, there's yeast. And I'm like, what do you mean marketing material? It's going to taste like vanilla and orange and brine. And I'm like, what? So I get through this incredible process of understanding fermentation and distillation and maturation and all of the process, just geeking out on the process, and go and have my first sip of Scotch, and it was a game changer. I'm like, wow, this is good. I've never really had a taste for bourbon. I know that might be a blasphemy with some of your folks, but that was sweet to me. But the Scotch wasn't. It had a different flavor. It wasn't as sweet. It had some nuances after I got over the fact that I thought it was going to burn the inside of my nasal cavity, and all of that. But then I was like, well, that's interesting. And I made my way to Jura, and to get to Jura, you got to get to Islay, and so they had other distilleries on Islay then. I so did not go to Scotland for whiskey my first trip. So I went to this place called Laphroaig, and yeah, real different than Oban. Big difference. And it was that was an awakening as well of the barbecue pit side, of the world. And really just came home and wanted to learn more, and kind of got into it, started watching different people on YouTube, and kind of, just doing my own research. And that means buying bottles and kind of figuring out what I liked, what I don't like, and what's a flavor profile. And, the things that I did not particularly care for when I first started drinking, I have a new appreciation for, or I've learned I have to get a bottle some time. Although there have been some that no matter how much time you gave it after it opened up, it wasn't going to do anything for you. Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet on those. But I really got into it, and then decided I wanted to do a little bit of writing, and started Scotch on the Bayou Instagram, and then my website, and actually applied for a slot in the Islay Whiskey Academy, which is how I got there this last time.
Just awesome.
It's kind of crazy. It's still kind of crazy to think about it.
For a second, and I'm going to grab some people in the chat, and then we're going to go back to that. All right, so we got Chris Beaton joined, Benjamin Eves, Ben Demon Hunter. Let's see who else. Travis Wallard's in there now. Matthew Lynn, Icehouse, William Devilar, Chad Adams, Zach Andrews, Christopher David. Let's see who else we got in here. It came in. One Lost Cause, Matthias, Andrew Sporrell, Trey Kuntz. Let's see here. Jason Unsworth, Jeremy Burns. One Lost Cause. Already got him. Let's see here. T Green. Starting out with the peated Balcones, which is fantastic. Bud Matthews. Let's see, Eric Evanson. Get them all. Hope so. Okay, we got them all. Cool. All right. Excuse me. GTS. Oh, GTS is George T. Stagg, by the way, Ben Demon Hunter. I gave it to Sarah because she has to suffer through the gloriousness of Islay this evening. So, all right. So let's put something in our glass, and then we'll let Lee take it away and let us know how she got to the Islay Whiskey Academy. So what are you going to start off with, Lee?
I'm starting off with Bruichladdich, and it's the Islay Barley 2009 unpeated, Sarah, unpeated.
I've got the 10.
Yeah, we had it here somewhere.
So
10 just the classic laddie. Which
unfortunately, I saw the 9, but I failed to buy it because I didn't realize that I didn't have it. So
which one is that, Matt?
This is
11?
The 10.
10.
Yeah. I saw the 9, but it was a miserable failure and failed to buy it. I think I have a mini one as like the 200 ounce, but it's buried behind 6 bottles. I'm not going to find it.
So look on your can and see on the side where it talks about the different farmers.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Like every one of these is every farm is on here. That's why I like Bruichladdich so much. It's so cool how they tell you exactly where everything's from, what farm it's from, what they do there. It's amazing. That's for sure. So, all right.
It's very
What y'all drinking?
We are drinking the same thing as you are.
Oh.
Okay,
cool.
So I guess tell about how you got to the Islay Whiskey Academy.
We're quickly pouring the same thing you are, and then I'm going to be moving on really quickly through a whole bunch of whiskeys tonight. Matt poured me 28 samples, and I'm going to have fun this evening.
Ooh, more power to you, brother. Just kind of keep us like in tune on what you're having, so we can sip vicariously through you.
Can do.
How to get to Islay this time. So there's a woman in Islay. I now have named her the Queen of Islay, named Rachel McNeil, and she has the Islay Whiskey Academy. And she books really specific tours, like a concierge tour for you in Islay if you're looking for something like that. But she actually holds a resident 5-day diploma course every year. And she offered one spot up as part of a competition. And it was to write an essay on why you would want to be there, what would it be, how would it benefit Scotland, and how would it benefit Scotch. And so I took to writing to that and basically said, I've never met a stranger and I will tell everybody, just my story and what it's done, and to get more people to understand that Scotch is not, quote unquote, some old, granddad drink, that it is not. And sometimes women have not always been welcome to the table, and oh no, no. I will make sure everybody knows that a woman can drink this just like a man can, if not better, because we actually smell things better. And I think that helps let people know how things taste, and because smelling is so much a part of taste. So anyway, I found out in June, I had made the cut list of 12, and then found out of 80 applicants, I was going to Islay.
That's awesome.
And in October, and it was really pretty crazy to think about, because the winner was actually chosen by the First Minister of Scotland.
Wow.
Nicola Sturgeon. And at the time, she was a little busy with this thing called Brexit.
Yeah.
And writing a referendum to pull out of the UK. So hey,
There you go.
it was interesting. So I got over there and spent a whirlwind week from 8:30 in the morning to 5:30. We were in a classroom or on a field trip or in a distillery. We had 3 dinners during the week, and not one night did I go to bed before 3 a.m. having a dram or two.
Yeah, that
it was
sounds
exhausting
terrible.
and wonderful.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a wonderful day. Drinking great Scotch till 3 a.m. every day. Where do I sign up for that? That sounds great.
So I'm going to challenge you on your can. Look on this Bruichladdich Isla barley and see if you see the name Hunter Jackson at Cruach, Cruach. That's his farm.
Should be other side.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see that name.
You see Hunter?
I see the last name. Yes, Hunter. Yes, Hunter. Sure
Hunter
did.
Jackson.
Yep.
So
sure.
on Wednesday, when we went to his farm.
Oh,
and
very cool.
Yeah. Now what's cool is he opened up one of these and he poured us all a dram at 10:30 in the morning, but whatever.
Awesome.
And the guy who grew the barley that was in that bottle poured us some, and we had a drink with him.
That's so cool.
That just amazing. totally blew my mind. To you talk about true farm to table, that's it.
Well, I'm jumping the gun a little bit as far as price point goes, but I want to keep in the Bruichladdich family for just a minute longer. I have poured myself some Black Art 1990 for all of those that are keeping up with what I'm doing next. And I'm letting Sarah take the first sip because I feel like she's going to enjoy the hell out of that.
Yeah, I can drink this one. I'm good with it. Huh?
Said I bet you can. That one's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I'm good with unpeated scotches all day long.
That's one of my absolute favorite scotches of all time. Have you had this one, Lee, the Black Art, before?
I've not had any of the Black Arts yet.
Oh, we'll have to correct that.
What Black Art edition?
The 1990.
Oh, 1990.
4.2.
This edition is the 4.1 1990 23 year. Comes in at, was it
49.2?
Yeah, 49.2%.
And what's the maturation on that one?
This one, as far as I know, is just bourbon. I don't think it has anything else. See, it says distilled, matured, bottled, unchill, filtered, coloring free, at Bruichladdich Distillery, Isle of Islay, Scotland products. Yeah, so that's it, just bourbon. It's such a awesome bottle. It's got this.
Oh, wow.
It's beautiful. But yeah, this is truly one of the greatest scotches I've ever had. For sure.
So, two other little Bruichladdich kind of things is Adam Hannett, the distillery manager at Bruichladdich, took us around for about 2 hours or so and gave us 7 new makes to try.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy, the difference in the cuts, from a floral to almost just pure cereal almost on one of them. Another one was very light with a citrus edge to it. It was very, very interesting, all the different new makes. And then he was gracious enough to share a 27-year-old out of a cask. That was very nice.
That's cool.
So we were very happy for that, for that dram. And then Wednesday night, we had dinner with Jim McEwen. And that was another mind-blowing time. You know, this guy who came in and was at Bowmore forever, through the Suntory years and brought it up to what it was. And then he decided, hey, there's that mothballed, broken down old Victorian distillery in his town in Bruichladdich. And so he wanted to go over there and do something with it. And what he turned Bruichladdich into is so interesting because it's called the Progressive, Hebridean distillery, but it's Victorian. I mean, the mash tun is cast iron and was built in 1881.
Wow.
It's like a mousetrap in there with all the wheels and the pulleys and the conveyor belts, and it's so old, but they make this really cutting edge stuff, and that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. So what's everybody in the chat? What Islay Scotch is everybody drinking tonight? Or if not Islay, what are you drinking instead?
While you're doing that, I'm going on to, what should we go to next? Buna?
George C. Stagg.
Whatever next distillery Lee goes to, that's what we'll jump to. How about that?
Well, we went to, we started off at Kilchoman, and that was the thing, we didn't have the young high school boy or girl show us around, at the distillery. We had the actual distillery manager, or in the case of Kilchoman, we had Anthony Wills, the owner,
awesome.
Took us around and, explained the nuances of why decide to build there, why decide to use everything off that island only, the Loch Gorman is where they get their water. And that was one of our other classroom things. We had a geologist come in and talk to us about all the water sources on the island and what distillery used water from a spring like Bruichladdich does, and which ones use it surface like a lake. So Kilchoman uses Lake Gorham, like Laphroaig, and then Laphroaig uses surface. And so it's really interesting in the different pH levels and all of that. But Kilchoman was very interesting. I kind of hearken him to the Frank Sinatra way of being a distiller. He's doing it his way. He's like, this is the way we're going to do it, and makes no apologies for it, which was great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you shouldn't. That's the whole point. It's, it's good times. I mean, hey, they're doing all sorts of cool farm to glass. I mean, they're a true farm to glass distillery. That's for sure. Yeah. Let's see. What should we do? I think we'll do the Madeira cask. Unfortunately, this isn't made anymore, but this is their 4-year exclusive Madeira cask, 50% ABV. And so
I poured the Mackir Bay.
That one. Okay, I'm going with this one.
That one's good.
When I was in the vault the first time last year, before the original opening, me and my wife and Carl Ivy, I don't know if he's in the chat or not tonight, we're in there, and Daniel comes in with Robert and Jonathan from Iron Root, and Andrew, who was our Somm, is like, no, I like Castro better. And then Daniel's like, no, I like Madeira better. So we'd have a taste off on the two of them. So it was freaking fantastic. So then after that, we had to track down a bottle of this. So my buddy who works for Specs checked all the Specs around Texas, and they found 2 in Dallas for us. So thankfully, then he went and drove over there and picked them up. They're the last 2 in the state available in the system.
Ooh.
So I got one, and then Carl Ivy got the other. So Carl Ivy's died. His bottled down at the Bastards, the very first, I guess, Bastards event when they had it there. The little one with the little meetup they had there at the Thing and Feather. I guess setting wasn't Feather. It's the room next to it, the Welcome Center, but whatever. So this one's still standing though, and it's glorious. Have you had this one ever, Lee?
I did. I've had that. And my husband killed my Makir Bay here recently. I was like, honey, and they're holding an empty blue box. Where's this one? But I still have on the Untouchable, one of the Untouchable shelves. Mark JG came to Baton Rouge, and because he's a fellow Louisianian, as is One Lost Clause on here too, and brought the Kilchoman port cask.
Oh, I think it's great. Yeah.
So, and what Mark also did is he brought we have this bakery in town called Ambrosia, and they make a fresh strawberry cake with real whipped cream icing.
Ooh.
And the port and the strawberry with the oil from that icing just was the bomb. It was so good.
I bet it was.
We have to have another one of those, Mark, soon.
I poured this in a new glass.
For real. That sounds like a great idea. That sounds really good combo. Yeah. Poor Will came over here earlier. I think I blew his mind. Yeah, I took some pictures to put them in Discord. But
Yeah, I saw that. And I saw Mark is a big Kilchoman fan.
It's sweeter than...
Yeah, I bought Kilchoman. These are all Kilchomans right here.
Good gravy. Look at that.
This isn't even all of them. This is just what I could get out in a hurry. There's like another 20, so they're just
I need to make a trip to North Texas.
You do?
Yeah. Come on over.
I got lots of peeps. I was telling these guys earlier that my husband and I used to live out there, out yonder in Ponder. It's and still have some really great friends out there. Most of them are on the east side, like around Rockwall, in that area.
Still not that far of a drive.
It's only like an hour.
And that was the thing and especially when we moved here, people couldn't understand. We would go to Wiley to our friends. What was it, 80 miles one way for dinner?
Mm-hmm.
That's like us driving to New Orleans, You just do it. It's no problem.
It's part of being in Texas is
so
far apart. It
Putting
doesn't matter.
lots of miles.
So,
There was definitely a depth to the Madeira that was lacking in the original, or the Makir Bay. I don't know if the Makir Bay is their staple.
yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it's their entry.
There's definitely a jump up to the Madeira. She actually tried it.
Yeah.
You don't like that? Really? Yeah. Stephanie loves that one. Yeah, my wife doesn't like bourbon. It's too sweet for her, but she loves all Scotch, especially heavily peated.
Yes.
I live where my wife lives, so she thinks this stuff's the best in the world.
That's great.
She's like, she doesn't drink bourbon or rye. She's like, too sweet.
It's not for lack of trying. I mean,
Now you're giving a good call try. That's,
Ooh.
you're being fair to it.
typically, if I can pick it up by my nose, I don't want to taste it. It's like,
Oh, now see.
that's a big thing that I took a sip of that, even though I could smell it.
Yeah.
So, Sarah,
My
was it the
part-
peat
my
or the
for-
smoke on it you don't care for, or
It's the peat. I get the medicinal Band-Aidy.
yeah,
And I cannot get past that no matter how hard I try, no matter how low the ppm is,
yeah.
still there.
Yeah, but that is, I'm really I don't like licorice, and which is almost a sin being here with Sazeracs, but I mean, if it's not overdone, but I've never had a problem with that particular thing, which I find strange because I figured I would, but I don't even get the Band-Aid thing that some people do. And I think that's just shows you how weird and strange and different everyone has a taste for something. And that's one of the best lessons I ever learned was when Mark and I got married, we went to Napa Valley for our honeymoon, part of it in San Francisco. And we went to Robert Mondavi winery.
Nice.
And we had a very Californian woman taking us around. And someone made a comment in the tasting room, "Oh, I don't like that one's not any good." And she stopped the whole bus. And she said, no. This really fluid Californian put a major halt. And she said, "You just prefer something over another thing. There's nothing wrong with that one. Yep. It's just your preference and your taste buds are somewhere else." Yeah.
I prefer high proof bourbon, and the higher the better. And who knows, maybe I'll get there. I mean, again, it's not for lack of trying.
No.
Maybe I won't. And it's not a big deal. I have what I like.
But there's plenty of all types of things to drink, and I think that's another thing too. There's plenty of reasonable things to drink, and not, I'm sure y'all saw on the news today about the collector who passed away that has, 3,900 open bottles, second only to Matt. But just, you don't have to have a 1932, Macallan. You don't have to have that to have a taste of a good whiskey.
No.
Nope. Not at all.
Well, and I think that's what channels like y'all do. Y'all help make this not scary or not intimidating. You open up the channels, so to speak, to let people know this is approachable and this is something that you can try. And you don't have, it's not a blue blood type high-end dollar thing. You can come to the table and find something that works.
Yep.
Right. Some of my favorite things back there are under $50.
Most of the favorite things are under 50.
You don't have to spend high dollar to get good beverage in your glass.
Mm-mm. No.
So I just tasted through all 4 of the Kilchomans.
Jesus.
I know. I had a Kilchoman cask strength.
We're sitting here having a conversation.
Slow clap.
I had a Madeira.
Slow clap.
Jeez.
Mic drop.
The Machier Bay and the sherry cask finish. The sherry cask. Actually, I think it was sherry cask matured, wasn't it, Matt?
The Laphroaig, yeah.
The Loch Gorm, that stuff is awesome.
That was my favorite out of all of them. I was hoping I was going to like the cask strength the most, or I assumed I was going to like the cask strength the most. But yeah, that sherry cask was amazing.
Yeah, so I'm going to switch over to the cask strength Kilchoman because it's delicious and it comes in at 56.9%.
Oof.
Oh, it's good. It's a 6-year. It's wonderful. All right, so I guess we'll get back to your story. So where did you go at that point in time after that?
So after Kilchoman, the next day, we had a professor of entomology come and talk to us about yeast. We had an entire lecture on yeast. Did you know yeast can only split 20 times and then it dies?
Really? Not
I know, right? And there were even in the geological discussion on the pH, there was chemistry everywhere, and I did not break out into a cold sweat, which I was really happy about, because chemistry was not my favorite thing in school. But when it's geared to whiskey, it's really interesting. And so just figuring out the different strains and some of the different things that the distilleries are doing on their fermentation and how much fermentation has an effect on the final new make even. It's what's producing the phenols and working in the different flavor profiles of whether or not you taste that banana or some type of tropical fruit on a whiskey. And again, it goes back to that trip I had to Oban where I'm like, what do you mean it's going to taste like oranges? And it does, it has that citrus flavor to it. And how does that happen? So that was really interesting. We went Wednesday to Ardbeg. And Ardbeg is the brand new distillery, the newest one on the island. And it's up north next to Bunnahabhain.
Oh, okay.
And Jim McEwen, after he retired in Bruichladdich, took some time off, and then he helped Ardbeg design the building, design the entire distillery. They have external wooden worm tubs. They have the most gorgeous still house that you have ever seen in your entire life. It's all windows, and it looks over the Sound of Jura onto the Paps of Jura. It's just actually the Sound of Islay to the Paps of Jura. It's gorgeous. And I have some pictures of each of the days on my Instagram, but I'm in the process. Hopefully in the next day or two, I'll have the overview posted on my blog of scotchandbayou.com. It's just been really difficult to try to summarize everything that happened, Yeah, so I'll end up doing posts on each of the things that we did, like the different lectures and all the distillery tours and things like that.
Definitely. All right, we got the Whiskey Dick in here. It's Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Bill, check out Bill for sure if you don't check out the Whiskey Dick. So we got Yo Jimbo came in as well. So make sure everybody knows the Whiskey Dick's here.
Hey, Bill.
Fan of the Pete, so
I saw Bill, met Bill the first time when we were in Austin. And I had the Mardi Gras beads. And he asked me if you needed to do something or show me something. I was like, no, Bill.
Yep, your beads are up with all my other coins from all the other whiskey tubers.
Awesome. Yep. That was fun.
That was awesome. Thanks for making those. Those things were really cool.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed.
Sarah just tried Buna.
Oh, yeah?
Which one? 12?
12 year.
That's a good one.
And what do you
get
think?
A little bit of the peat and smoke, but it's not too much.
I guess that's just... You like that one, Sarah?
It's not bad. It has... Like, the peat isn't really strong, but
it's like 2.
I get, like, a slight medicinal, but it's not equaling Band-Aid.
Uh-huh.
I can't really tell you right now what it equals. But it's not horrible.
It's not horrible. I love Buna.
I found even like whether you like peat or not, I think Islay needs to breathe a minute. From the bottle to the glass, it needs a little time for all the mojo to get swirly and just kind of settle out.
You might as well.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Okay. I just grabbed the 18-year Bunnahabhain because, why not?
Why not? Okay, I'm going to have some 12 with you, actually.
That's not horrible.
Oh, gosh. Oh.
We found a slightly peated Scotch that Sarah didn't say was horrible.
Good.
I'm taking this as a giant win.
I wasn't jumping up and down.
A giant leap from peated mankind.
She can get there. It's okay.
That
Josh fixed Gretchen, so we can fix that.
Josh fixed,
he says.
Fuck you.
That's right.
If I don't get there, it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll get you there.
More for us.
Fixed. Oh, fuck off. Wait till she hears that.
I think it's hilariously funny.
3 cheers to Buna.
No,
actually, I got this bottle of Buna and Specs on that Austin trip.
That's funny.
For $30 less than I can get it here.
Oh, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
'Cause my wife's favorite Scotch is Octomore 8.3. So I think all the other Scotches, it's good, but Octomore,
see, I get a little banana off of this too. That's straight up.
18. And of course, we are enjoying The Mandalorian.
Yes,
it has been
both
an
of
epic
us.
show.
Like I pine for Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
This also has there's something on the nose.
yeah, I agree. If you get the 88 Bunnahabhain, that's fantastic. There's a cast strength one. It's great. It's by Alexander Murray's got one like that, and it's freaking awesome.
I don't like this one as much.
And
Okay.
it's not that price. I think it was only like $230 for a cast strength. It's not bad at all.
Okay.
Which one is it?
Old.
The 15. No, I'm sorry.
She's So you poured the
The
12.
18?
Is the 18 finished in anything?
Oh, they're sherry.
Sherry?
They're both sherry. 12 and 18 are sherry.
Do you know what kind of sherry? Does it say?
It smells like Oloroso, but let's
Probably
see.
Tintafino,
Mm.
somewhere right in the middle.
It doesn't say on the box, but when we do our research, when we review it, I'll make sure to find out what kind it is.
Baby. That's a good one, Jason. Baby Yoda.
I love Baby Yoda.
Drink you will.
All right, so where'd you go next?
Oh,
I'm
Bacon
laughing
so
at
amazing.
One Lost Cause. Yes, Baby Yoda is obviously Cajun. It's like Ed Ogeron's love child. Go Tigers. Okay.
So are you
Okay,
originally
so-
from Louisiana?
Do what now?
Are you originally from Louisiana?
No. I grew up in Arkansas and moved down here my senior year in high school, and then I went to Texas. So I have the most bastardized Southern accent there is. But it was funny because I actually met up with Roy Duff Aquavite before going over to Isla, and I had gone to Glengoyne for the blending class, and he met me there, and I got to meet his lovely family, and he's got these precious twin girls, and they were like, "Would you keep talking, please? We'd love to hear your accent." And I'm like, "But I want to hear you talk," you know? And they were just adorable, just totally adorable. And his little boy too. They were like, okay, that would spoil you to have children. I have dogs. But anyway. So Thursday is what I'm drinking now, which would be Laphroaig. Got the lore rocking. Since you had it in your graphic, I was like, oh, what a wonderful reason to pour a glass of stewed cherries with burnt marshmallow char.
I'm going to get to that one here in a minute while Matt pulls it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep on going through my Bunas. I got two Bunas that I can't pronounce.
Yeah, good luck with
Yeah,
those.
that's the thing about Buna. They're all the Gaelic names. It's like I have the S one or the C one.
Yeah, it's like the T, C, the S, right. It's
Yeah.
like, I can't
One
pronounce any
starts
of them,
with a
so
C
sure.
and one starts with a T.
Yeah, once you move off the numbers, I'm like,
Yeah, forget it. Good luck.
right.
Yeah, the lore comes in at 48%. So
Oh,
we'll have
God,
to get to review of this one sometime soon because there's
Sure.
only like a third of the bottle left.
I haven't. I should have finished this Buna 12
I
first.
didn't hand it to you. Don't look at me like that. I didn't hand it to you.
The lore is going to kill it. It's cool. But agree. So they went from those and you took it over to Laphroaig at that point in time?
So so every day we did a distillery. So Thursday we were at Laphroaig, and John Campbell, the distillery manager, took us around there, and I think we were there for 3 hours. It was just amazing. We had a full tasting at the end.
Oh, great on me.
With him walking us through each of the expressions, and just very intense guy. Totally, he said, "We're not going to apologize about the way we make whiskey." He said, "It's, this is the way we do it, and it's not for everybody, and that's okay." And it was interesting because when we get there, they all knew this group of people, and my classmates, there were 10 of us. And so there were 3 of us from the States, a fellow Texan down in Houston, Jennifer, and a guy from Brooklyn. And then with the whiskey doc from Nova Scotia. And there was a guy who has a taster club over in Athens, Greece. Michael, who owns a Inverary whiskey shop in Scotland, and a husband and wife couple from Norway, and 2 best buddies from Germany. So you had this really wild cross
for real.
group of international people,
Vastly.
Yeah. But everyone there was on a definite higher level of understanding whiskey. we never walked into a distillery where they said, well, this is what fermentation is. It was, what type of yeast are you using? How long is your fermentation? What's your biggest issues? How hot is your water when it goes in? I mean, we were geeking to the nth degree,
That's awesome. Sounds like my kind of class.
Yeah.
The water temperature. That's interesting. That makes a difference.
Yeah.
What temperature water did they put it in at, just to wonder? Did they tell you, or do you remember?
Well, most everything was in centigrade, so I haven't,
Okay.
I haven't flipped it back and figured it out.
What's your centigrade?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out. Going through all my notes. After the first day at the distillery, I didn't, some people were recording. I recorded Jim McEwen's talk, and I'm starting to go through and do a transcript of that.
That's cool.
For myself. Yeah, he was like a football coach. He got you so fired up about Scotch. You were just ready to put some pads on and go hit somebody, It was like, find me the, sorry, this is my children. Okay. But he just has so much passion. And so while I'm thinking about it to share, he has a whole new project now. So he retired from Bruichladdich. He helped Ardbeg, but he has a lot of casks left from Bruichladdich. So he has a new line he's calling the Cask Whisperer.
That's
and
cool.
You need to watch out for those bottles, because those are his hand-picked bottles he kept for basically some of his payment for working Bruichladdich. And then now he took them after he retired, and that's what he's doing with them. And he's releasing them in casks editions.
That's awesome.
He shared a Grand Margaux cask maturation with us that night.
What is a Grand Margaux? What's that?
It's a wine variation.
Okay.
Don't ask the sommelier.
Will, what's that?
Oh, I've been going through all sorts of things. I've gone through.
No, you're not paying attention.
Grand Margaux.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have a wine question for the wine sommelier.
Yeah,
Lee was talking about
Grand Margaux.
Yeah,
that's not a term I've ever heard of.
Okay.
Is it to a specific type of wine?
I guess so. It was just the type of cask that it was in.
Oh,
so it was some type of Margaux cask. Wine cask. I don't know if it was a Margaux region.
Well, Chateau Margaux is one of the 5 first growths of Bordeaux.
Okay.
So if it was Chateau Margaux, that's a very big deal because back in 1855 they were one of back then 4 wine producers classified as a first growth, as a number 1 growth. So they gave the number 1 title to 4 people. Now that title belongs to 5 different chateaus.
I will check my phone to verify that, because I took a picture of it, but I'm pretty sure that's it.
That would be quite the statement.
Yeah. He taught us all the Highland toast. He stood up on a table. It was great.
What a deal. Yeah, Laphroaig is definitely my first love for Scotch. Because I tried like Glenlivet, Glenfiddich prior. I was like, it's good, but nothing great. Then I tried Laphroaig, and I'm like, this is heaven. This is the kind of whiskey I've been looking for my whole life. And then it's just a sad little rabbit hole that turns into thousands of whiskeys.
The 12 was quite a bit peatier than this.
Thanks, Laphroaig. Look at you.
Right?
I poured the
Caol Ila.
I poured the Caol Ila 12 first, and it smelled much peatier, and it tasted really peaty. But the 18 didn't smell very peaty, so I handed it to her, and she sipped it, and she didn't like it very much.
18's got no peat at all. It's unpeated.
It tastes medicinal.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
At least I tried it. What's wrong with you?
That's true.
It does still taste. Well,
so Sarah, do you Sarah, do you pick up the funk on Campbelltons? Like on Springbanks and
Yeah,
Kilcairns?
yeah, a little bit.
It's so good.
And is it more tolerable than the medicinal?
It is.
And it's just what you like, you know?
There were several that I liked when we did the Campbellton night.
Yes, there were.
I don't remember what all of them are, but I have them over in our stash.
Yes, you need to go through them and take notes on them so we can get those bottles back.
Church face.
We have more sample bottles from Matt than I have actual whiskey bottles, and I actually have quite a few friggin' whiskey bottles. But
Yeah, I'm out of empty sample bottles, which means I need to drink sample bottles in order to open up empties to share to others.
yeah, that's where we are at this point, I think. That's right.
So our last day, we actually took a test. That was a little unnerving. Yeah. So and we passed. Everybody passed. I actually got my certificate mailed to me not too long ago. Actually last week. So that was good. But we ended the day at Ardbeg, and they rolled out the red carpet. It was amazing.
What'd you try there?
We had quite a few. We had Ardbeg. I never had Ardbeg before.
What is that?
Ardbeg is. Let me flip over here on my computer real quick.
While you're looking up that, I'm moving on to 4 different Bowmores that I poured over at Matt's house.
Goodness.
And I've poured some Craig Alecky 13. I'm switching
works.
it up. Hey, it's Scotch.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yo, Jimbo, I've not had the 2013.
Yeah.
A Portwood.
You can
It
bake it
sounds
up with
delicious. I've not had that one. Wish I had, but nope, don't know that one.
Okay.
Bacon Cat just tried to steal a whole slice of bacon off the
I
plate.
like the Bacon Cat. Wellness cause, no, I do not have an Amazon thing with 2-ounce bottles showing up here every week.
Jesus.
That would be insane.
Oh,
No, but I did find a way you can buy 100 of them for $48, which saves me a ton of money because, like, they have, I don't know, like 150 sample vials over at their house from here. It's pretty funny. Such good stuff. Oh,
Ardbeg is bourbon and Manzella sherry.
oh,
And it was at 52.1. So we had that, we had drum, we had grooves, and then we went out, like Ardbeg, Lagavulin, and Laphroaig are all on the southeast end of Islay on the water, and they had this jetty kind of thing out there. So we all went out there. They were very theatrical and very experience oriented with us. And he's like, I think there's a bottle down here. And it's like looking over the side into the water, and there was a rope. And he said, here, come help me. And so I helped him, the guide, pull up this lobster trap. Had 2 lobsters in it and a bottle of Kelpie.
that's awesome.
And then we turn around and someone had put out oysters on the half shell. And so we had Kelpie and we poured Kelpie in the oyster. Holy moly. Oh,
Good, huh?
that was so freaking good. Yeah. Very tasty.
Oh, shit.
So, and Ardbeg is actually building a new still house. They're going to double the size of the stills.
Yay!
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And just like Ardnaho, the back wall is going to be all glass overlooking the water.
Very
It's going to be gorgeous.
Well, if you're going to talk about Kelpie, I might as well pour some Kelpie. Sorry,
Yeah.
Wolf, I didn't give you this tonight.
I got plenty. I'm happy. Don't worry.
Oh, I figured you were. So it's funny. I asked Will, I said,
Don't
what samples do you need of Isla tonight? He's like, oh, that's a silly question. I'm sure he drank them all because he loves the peat.
Every time I get a little sample vial of something peaty, I probably am going to finish it that night. I guarantee you that is not going to be the case this
It's not
time.
going to happen tonight unless you want to die.
I do not plan on drinking 28 1-ounce samples tonight. That would
Terrible,
be
Oh, Lord.
But anyway, the
It's more than a bottle.
in at 46%, if anybody wants to know. So it's Kelpie.
Yeah, the Kelpie was really good. We've Mark and I want to do. We had a lot of flooding in Louisiana this year, and our oyster crop got hit really, really hard. And it was because of the fresh water they had to release, like from the Mississippi and the basin into the brackish saltwater. So it hit overall fishing really hard and the oyster beds. So it's a little slim pickings with oysters right now, but we want to do some char grilled oysters.
It sounds good.
And if y'all have ever had those where you put them on the half shell on the grill and then you load them up with butter and garlic and Parmesan, and I really want to put like an Ardbeg tin or a Laphroaig
delicious.
just in there with that smoke. So
Sounds
we eat really
delicious.
well down here.
Eric Evanson wants to know, do you know when did they tell you when the new stills will be operational?
They should be at like probably by June next year. They should be because the actual structure part is finished for the most part, and so they were going to be putting the stills in, and the still house that now they're going to expand the mash area, so they'll have that much more to go ahead and then put in there to make
Very nice.
to get that production up, because they are quite small compared to the other ones on the island. They are very small.
Plus, they were closed multiple times at that, so
Yeah.
you got that going for them. Now, thank God, that hopefully they never close again because they make amazing whiskey. That's for sure. I guess they have the whole committee thing that the whole point of it is not to close ever again. Well, if they keep putting out stuff they keep putting out, it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah. Well, and they've got a real cult following too. There are Ardbeg people that will go to the death for that distillery. They love it so much.
Yeah, like Christina and Lance, that's for
I was
sure.
going to say there is actually a literal cult of Ardbeg at this point.
Well, I mean, you were at the ball. You saw.
Yeah.
They do exist.
Yeah, those black robes didn't really mean cult, did it?
No, but the fact that they called themselves the cult of Ardbeg
Right.
kind of dictates that they're a cult.
Yeah. Well, my classmate Jennifer is all about the Ardbeg. She is definitely all about that.
Definitely.
And now, see, Captain Make It Happen. Oysters are very tasty. Just about any way you can, especially
More, but
I know a lot of people don't like them raw, but they're pretty tasty any way I can find them.
so-
Little filters of the sea.
Exactly.
Yeah. And okay, Lost Cause. Yeah, I'll swing by Metairie Sunday. I'll be down there this coming Sunday. Don't tell me you can give me oysters. We'll be down there. I'll drive for oysters.
There you go. I assume that's a city that there.
Yeah, Metairie is just outside New Orleans. Yeah,
Okay. How far away are you from New Orleans?
about an hour.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not horribly far.
Yeah, weekend before last, I ended up going down and meeting Jason Coates.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's right. I saw the
and-
pictures there on Scotch.
and Brent Watkins
Awesome.
that hang out over on the Dummies channel.
Mhm.
Slightly hit.
We went down and we went to the Sazerac house,
Really?
which was really well done. So if y'all get over, needless to say, anybody gets down this neck of the woods, holla at me.
Yeah.
And
Never
Scotch
been
on the
down
Bayou
that
at gmail.com. But yeah, there's quite a few people that we've met down in New Orleans because that's usually where people end up going. It's easy.
Yeah, I've only been to Shreveport. I haven't been to New Orleans before, so.
Now, see, that's Mark JG's stomping grounds.
Okay.
Matt.
Shreveport.
Jason just asked about it in the chat.
Oh God.
We got this wonderful little package in the mail the other day.
Oh, Jason, you're the freaking best, man.
You had me at bacon. A little Christmas ornament from Jason. It
Aw.
is the best thing ever. And
That's
it lives
great.
right on the front of the tree now.
That's great.
Am I in suicide watch yet?
So she smelled and actually took a sip of the Bowmore Doris Moore. It's that 10-year that you poured me, Matt.
So good.
She was
you
getting
like it?
floral notes on the nose, and she actually took a sip of it. She said she didn't like it, but she took a sip, and I call that a win.
It's like the tiniest little sip. The nose was actually not horribly bad. The peat was hidden behind a lot of floral and some kind of tropical fruity notes.
But that deep
But it was
richness
still
shows
there.
up on the palate.
I wasn't talking or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off. But anyway, I tried it. I wasn't a fan of the taste. It smelled okay though.
So where did you go after? I guess you're at the Ardbeg. Where'd you go after that?
Well, we had our closing ceremonies
Okay.
dinner after that. It just so yeah, here's how the day would go. So you get up in the morning and we'd be at this community center, the Gaelic College, at about 8:30. And by noon, we were on one field trip, eating lunch out of the back of a truck, probably. So Tuesday, for example, we ate lunch in a peat bog. And I, along with my buddy Paul from Nova Scotia, and Nikki, an island girl there from Islay, were the champions of the peat cutting contest. Thank you very much.
Ooh.
There is my name. I wrote my name on a peat shed on Islay.
That's awesome.
And that, dun, dun, dun. I have a goal to take my husband back to show him that one day. But it was things like that, to be able to say I've cut peat.
Like you got all the old school tools and you cut the peat.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And to do things like that, to go to the Octomore Spring on the Octomore farm,
Oh, that's cool.
those types of things, that's not stuff you're just going to do. Like if you go to Islay. And that's where the school is 5 days. It includes, your living arrangements. And it was very, very reasonable to do. And we're all talking about doing it again at some point.
Awesome.
But all of that, and then we would, go to 5:30, then go to dinner. And then after dinner, well, you got to go to the pub.
Yeah.
So it was the Bowmore Inn, usually. Cool. And then after that, you went to where someone was staying. So the first night we had a dinner with John McEwen, who's the global brand ambassador for Scotch Malt Whiskey Society.
Very cool.
So we had 6 different of those bottles during dinner. Well, that night we went back and we killed the bottles at his place. So it was like, oh darn, make me sit here and drink Castrine 28-year-old Scotch on freaking Islay with these amazing people, And that was the thing. We all still talk to each other. We have our own little Facebook group where we, check in and see how everyone's doing and sharing our pictures. And we had a great experience, but we left there with a new crop of friends. And that was really pretty cool.
That is very cool. Now, have you considered doing the Whiskey Vaults sommelier program at all?
I've looked into it and just really what I heard when we went for the Bastards Ball and just kind of do that. And I know y'all all have done it, right?
Yes, we have. We're all Psalms.
Yeah. And so, I'd like to look into that, and just see what more. I think the Islay Whiskey Academy was all about the, it was ground zero of where the product's actually made.
For real.
you know, and Mike, who is the guy from Scotland that was there, he's actually putting together one for Spey. So that he has really great connections with like Glengarry and Glenallachie and all up. I mean, he's walking distance from Glendronach, you know. And like, Betty, I'm coming back to see you.
Yeah, for real.
You know,
sign
right?
me up for that.
Right. And you know, I'd like to look more into the you know, the Whiskey Tribe version of that and just see what is all there. I have I've been in marketing most all of my life, but you can always learn something, you know.
Absolutely. So Donald wants to know about this Bowmore. It comes in at 55.9%. It is matured in first fill bourbon barrels.
It is glorious.
It's non-chill filtered. Of course, a small batch. Surprise. To me, this is the Dare Gaelish of Scotch. I don't know if you ever had Dare Gaelish from Middleton, which is a tropical fruit bomb. This is a fruit bomb with a slight peat to it. It's 10 years old. It is freaking fantastic. We opened this up tonight because I was like, I've had it in the back of my cabinet for like 2 years. I'm like, I'll open it at some point. Will's wife was like, now let's open it. Let's see what it is. I'm like, man, am I glad I opened this. This is freaking amazing. You ever had this one at over?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you got to try this one. Now, so you didn't go to Bowmore at all, though?
No, my house was right next to it. So we went through, you know, the quintessential picture of Port Ellen, that is the street with the round church at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
That's where we stayed. We stayed in one of those little houses.
Nice.
You know, so we were right there. We didn't have much time to do anything other than what we did. So I would definitely bookend a day or two. For example, I did not get to go to Bunnahabhain, which is just about killed me. But we'll go back. We're planning on that summer trip.
So how was the weather while you were there?
A little overcast in mid-50s. We had one Wednesday we had a little bit of rain, but mostly it was okay. And the rainbows, when it did rain, I have never seen this before. There was an end-to-end double rainbow. I've never seen that. It wasn't double on top of each other. It was like a slinky, like two rainbows in a row.
Very unique. I've never seen that. I've seen double rainbows, but never anything like that. That's cool.
It was gorgeous. But it was fun. I'm ready to go back. Y'all want to go?
Yes.
Yes, please. I definitely want to go there. It's on the list for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to get you some sample of this. This is freaking amazing.
Yeah, that was a glorious, glorious whiskey.
It doesn't taste like your typical Islay at all. It's really super tropical fruits, and it's more like a really great Irish with a hint of peat. That is freaking beautiful. Like really like Middleton.
And Matt, what is it again? It was I saw the blue box.
I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, but it's Doris Moore Small Batch Release 2.
Okay.
Tourusmor.
10-year.
Okay. Dormar.
Yeah,
I'm trying to learn Gaelic.
Dormar.
Yeah, succulent fruit,
Dormar.
layers of sweet vanilla on an ocean breeze. That's pretty damn accurate.
Wow.
There's a lot of times you look at the bottle, you're like, whatever. That's pretty accurate. Yeah, Donald, I think your grandmother would love this. I know how much your grandmother likes the Bowmore, so I think this would be, she would freaking love this one. But Bowmore in general is fantastic. So you didn't go to Bunnahabhain. So I assume you didn't go to Caol Ila then either at that point.
Nope.
No.
Each other, so.
Yeah.
You can.
Next time.
So we went to next time. Mark really hasn't really likes the Islas, so we're planning on going over for the dummies trip in June next year. And awesome we'll be bookending either the front end or back end, and it depends on how much time we can get away. But I would like to bookend that trip with a few days on Islay and a few days in Campbellton if we can. So we'll see.
So like a month would be good?
Yeah. I keep telling my boss, I mean, I work remotely every day. I can deal with the 6-hour time change. I can,
Totally.
we can make it work.
Exactly.
We'll
You
make
can,
it
do
work.
you can do it in America. You can totally do it in Scotland. You work from home. What's the difference? As long as you get an internet
I
connection,
know.
all that matters.
I have to say, internet is sketchy as hell on Isla.
That's not so great.
It's like it went out one day, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And there was a local that was staying with us, and she goes, "Oh, they have to reset the server for the entire island."
Wow.
I'm like, wow. Then the guy's electricity went off next door. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, there's a meter. You actually feed a meter for your electricity in these timeshare kind of condos. You had to go across to the co-op and pay the meter to feed his electricity in the house.
Oh my god.
I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a whole different thing. And then one of our drivers was, God love him, he was like Mr. Magoo driving. I mean, he had like, I was like, Jesus, take the wheel, please, because I don't want to die here. I really love it, but we don't want to die here. So it was all those little bitty types of things. You know, my roommate Jen from Houston was sending me texts the other night. And she said, I'm sitting here telling her husband, you know, all these funny stories. And do you remember when blah, 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 you know? And those are the things that, to me, were even better than the whiskey. You know, that was really cool.
The camaraderie.
Yeah, and the whiskey was really good. So
that just makes it even better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just rolled through 4 Laphroaigs.
Talk about Jesus taking the wheel.
Yeah, really.
I did the Laphroaig 10 cask strength.
Oof, that's a good one.
I'm sorry, 3 Laphroaigs, and then the Laphroaig lore. They were all very, very yummy.
That zebra's
cask
good.
strength, I think, is my favorite, even above the lore.
Well, that 10-year cask you like better?
I really do, but you know me, I'm a high proof whore like my wife is.
I get it. Yeah, one of these days we'll crack open that 18. I just don't know when it's going to be.
I'm moving on to the Lagavulins, and then I'm going to finish my night off with Ardbeg. Well, maybe not. I'll probably finish my night off with Octomore. But yeah. I'm going to go Lagavulin first. I poured myself the Lagavulin Offerman Edition 11-year.
Yeah, we're going to have to get that Octomore 8.3 reviewed soon because there's not much left in that bottle.
Oh, boy.
How are y'all liking the Offerman?
I'm so sorry.
I've spent one pour with it essentially so far. Matt, you've spent quite a bit more time with the Offerman Edition.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
On the nose, there's no faults to it. It smells beautiful.
It's really good. Yeah, we'll be getting to the review here very soon. Next couple of weeks or so, hopefully. Get that one on the docket for sure. It's
well, and it's hard. I mean, what y'all do, you know, I made mad props to the YouTube community, and it's been really nice to come on and talk about this. But more power to you. I don't see how y'all do that. Y'all do this. I'll stick with my words in my blog, and do that. And there's just the one thing that there's so much in my brain right now to try to get out on the page to do it any justice on trying to invoke what those experiences were, you know, and I want to share that. I want people to get excited about looking into yeast, you know. And I mean, you think, oh, it just is there for a chemical reaction, but it does so much more, you know. And what's the difference between making whiskey with hard water as opposed to soft water? And so it's going to be fun to start whittling down into these subjects.
Oh, absolutely. Donald says he wants to support Charlotte because, you know, he loves it. So I'll pour a little just for Donald.
Well, and Eric was asking about the 3-wood. I didn't pour myself any of the 3-wood. It was over there. I did have the option to it, but I poured myself 28 whiskeys. I'm excited. I didn't pour myself that one though. I might be missing out on something.
I'll pour some just for him. I gotta grab it. Find it here. There's so many whiskeys in front of me, so let's see.
Such a bad problem to have.
Yeah, Rewood. Here we go.
And we were talking with Lone Elm, and they were discussing that they use Dallas water source for their pre-yeast run because the yeast likes to feed on the things that are in the actual water, but then they use rainwater to actually dilute everything down. So I can understand completely why people would choose to use different water sources for different processes and the differences between, like you were saying, hard water versus soft water, and things like that.
Yeah, it is interesting because there's so many on Islay specifically. There's limestone, granite, volcanic type of minerals. It's really interesting that all the sandstone, all these different types of minerals, different ages, if you will, that have an effect on that water source. So where one has to adjust for a high pH, another may have to adjust for low.
Dustin wants to know, has anyone seen the Amroot age in the Ardbeg cask? I haven't, but please sign me up for that. I've had some beers finished in some Ardbeg and some Lagavulin barrels that were freaking fantastic. But
sounds glorious.
Amroot finished in it. That sounds. I have had Amroot peated, but not one finished in Ardbeg. That sounds really good, though.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Oh, and I do love my Amroot. Amroot is great whiskey. That's for sure.
Yes, they are. I haven't tried a single Amroot that I haven't really enjoyed yet.
So
I'm switching over to Aberfeldy.
Yeah,
I know Brenna Elliott found some other Amroot. So I think he's in North Carolina or South Carolina, one of those two states. He showed pictures of some other Amroots I've never even seen before. They had the rye, but also I've tried the Spectrum, which is one of the best I've ever had. But they want $1,000 for it, which I think originally came out for $200. So I think I'll be skipping that as far as price goes. But if you ever find it for reasonable, I'd buy it because it's freaking awesome.
I've had the Amroot cast strength. That's about all I've had of Amroot.
Since you like Scotch so much, you love their peated ones. They're really good. And you probably like Paul John even better because it's more heavily peated. The Paul John.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good stuff. If you get a chance, you should give those a whirl for sure.
As far as on the cheaper end of the price point, though, the Fusion is actually pretty darn yummy, and I think that'd probably be up your alley as well, Ian.
For sure.
I'll have to look at those.
Hey,
I'll write that down.
Oh,
Yeah, the Amroot Fusion is their introductory, and it's fantastic for what it is. It's not an expensive whiskey by any means, but
Vaguely remember those reviews back in the day.
Y'all done a couple.
it was a Tuesday.
No, it was a Sunday.
I remember, at the top of our journey here, you talked about the Balcones heated.
Mm-hmm.
Is that available in Texas, or did you have to get it from them, or?
It's out of the distillery, but some people are saying I guess they're releasing some to the actual stores. I think T Green was saying earlier. So if that's the case, it's great because I had my buddy Travis Waller in here actually picked me up a bottle when he was there last 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I was really glad because I have last year's and now I have it this year's. I got a sample of last year's from Captain Make It Happen. They're both really good. So be a fun comparison of the two.
Yeah, I'd like to try that, especially when I was over in Glasgow and Roy and met up with him. He was talking specifically that was going to make him nervous, in the sense of Texas whiskey is going to be coming for Scotch, that it's going to be that it's that good.
Texas whiskey would take over the world.
Well, between Balcones, Andalusia, Iron Root, the people at Lone Elm, I mean, we have some distillers that are doing some truly epic things here.
Yeah.
With all sorts of different fun grains, from corn to malt to wheat. So Yeah, I'm very excited for the future of Texas whiskey.
Yeah, I blame Robert Licorice for my sick obsession with different grain varietals. And when I go to distilleries or just meet people that are into whiskey, that are like brand ambassadors, I'm like, what's the mash bill? What type of corn are you growing? What kind of rye is it? And they're like, why the hell do you want to know this?
Yeah.
I think that's the best part is when you're just like, no. I get it that it's corn. What type
I know it's
of corn
Right.
are you?
Exactly. Exactly.
What kind?
You know, what's the sugar content of that corn?
Exactly. Like, why do you know this and why do you care?
I can't do anything about it. I just want to know, you know.
Same thing with like Scotch. I'm like, well, what kind of barley did you use? You know, what kind of Charlotte? What kind of barrel did
That's
you use?
right.
Just, and they're like, why the hell do you want to know these things?
Is it
They're
6 or
I'm not
2
sure
grain?
how you feel, but I just want to know.
Because they make a difference.
Yep.
Exactly. I'm
They
like,
really do.
I
They
do
really
make a
do.
huge difference. Like, talk about the Charlotte. What's the kind of barrel you're using? Is it air or kiln dry? I mean, just stupid questions. They're like,
huge
oh
difference.
my gosh, why do you have so many questions?
Yeah.
Like, I want to know what whiskey I'm drinking. What the
All
hell?
right,
right.
I've got 8 minutes to get through 5 more samples. So
Jesus.
here we go.
Did you do all the samples so far, Will?
Yes.
Yes, he has.
Yeah,
Will, sugar, you don't have the body
Don't
weight
tell
to
my
take
wife.
all that.
he doesn't. That's true. He's by far
That's
the
for people like me.
He's been actually pouring the tiniest amounts in one of the wee Glencairn. So
Okay.
And you also have to remember, I'm not only a somm for this channel, I'm also a somm for my profession as well. I am
Right.
absolutely to tasting lots and lots throughout the day.
You-
So
whatever he
You are definitely a professional, as we say down here.
it's
He's
fine. I am a
professional and
drinking
shit.
professional. But I'm moving on to the Ardbeg, which is my favorite part of the night, especially
even have a Lagavulin?
with my pairing of bacon.
Mm.
Ardbeg plus bacon equals gloriousness in my eyes.
Okay.
Apparently in the
And
cats as well.
I do have some hormel bacon bits in the refrigerator. I could go run and get.
Sure, why not?
It's not the
It'll work.
same.
Not quite the same, but it'll work.
It's not the bacon, the Baconator. I have dubbed him the Baconator in Austin. Man was walking around with a Tupperware dish, being generous and sharing God's gift of bacon to the world.
We have an event
Damn.
here. That's what Will does. He makes tons of bacon, and then the bacon just like disappears. Like it's
I
like
have
the
to-
first food to go.
I have to spread it out.
Well, and I need people to understand that this is not bacon. This is bacon with integrity because it stands up by itself. Okay, it doesn't
Yeah, that's true.
fall
That's true.
over.
There's no flopping over with my
Get out of
bacon.
here.
It completely dissolves in your mouth. It just into salty, briny yumminess. It was very good bacon. And I can tell, I'm going to make some bacon in your honor this weekend. And I'm going to have that with this Corvecchian Ardbeg.
There you go.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, okay. That's the next one I'll pour. Hang on. Where is it? Corvecchian. I got that right here.
Named after the whirlpool that's at the end of Jura.
Crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside.
That's right.
Is everybody having fun tonight?
I am. This is my favorite Ardbeg of the core line. Comes in at 57.1%. Corvecchian is amazing.
It is. It's a real easy sipper at that ABV too.
So far, the NO has been my favorite of the core line. I don't think I've tried the Corvecchian yet, or the
Yeah.
Udall.
Have you tried Oogie?
Okay. I haven't spent a lot of time
I
on
just
the
like
Corvecchian.
Ardbeg.
I ain't even
I was like, on drum. I was like, I like the Kelpie. Kelpie was lighter, brinier.
Definitely. That dark cove though, that stuff is special.
Well, and being from Louisiana, I brought up to Ron, our tour, the tour manager at Ardbeg. I was like, so, yeah, I know you got your Supernova coming back, but when's our Alligator coming back? And he said, sit tight.
Nice.
Might be making a resurgence. There's kind of running through some of the old stuff to rework it.
Look what you did.
Good.
What are y'all doing? Are you have to
Yeah,
put
right now.
y'all in timeout?
I've already threatened to flick him, and I've smacked his head a couple times.
What, you don't want to smell that one?
He's blowing his breath in my general direction.
The Corvecchian really is fucking glorious.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So freaking good.
The NO is really yummy. What's the Matt? What's the price difference between like NO versus Corvecchian?
Only like $20.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it's like 56, and this is like 75, so it's like $20. It's not bad.
In Texas, you need that disclaimer because it's a difference between a $70 and $100 bottle in Louisiana.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's a big difference.
there's a reason I drive like I'm carrying Coors across the state line when I go to Houston for work.
I don't blame you.
Eastbound and down, taking my Scotch home.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially go to Specs and they have all those
Which one?
that are dirt cheap that are on clearance right now.
So I poured the NO and the Corvecchian. Eric was asking me for some tasting. I gotta
making him pour more.
The NO is definitely lighter and sweeter. The cherry notes come forth pretty drastically in this one, and it actually tastes and smells more like a PX sherry, something a little bit sweeter than
What's the Corvecchian?
normal. Okay, sorry. The Corvecchian is much darker, much deeper, much richer. It smells older. This smells closer to 18 to 20 versus
Has a long finish.
that smells closer to like 6 to 12, right? The Corvecchian smells richer, deeper, darker. There are sweet notes in there, but they're buried a lot further deep behind all the peat. This is a much peatier dram than the NO is.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt.
Oh, the palate on the Corey is crazy big and delicious. Super long, lingering finish.
Yep.
I enjoy the heck out of both of those. Sorry, Kat. You're going to smell like whiskey.
Spill on the cat.
I did spill
Lick that shit
on
up.
the cat. Literally spilled.
Y'all.
He literally spilled on the cat.
He's going to smell pretty
He
fun.
better not come try and sleep in my bed tonight.
Night, Galen. See you later. Thanks for coming in.
And I got one more to pour. We got the Udall.
Oogie dog. Oogie is good.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought you still had.
Mateus, that's funny. That's funny as hell.
You still have
To your mom.
I have two.
What's your neighbor burning?
You better hurry it up, man. You got 1 minute.
I got Ardbeg, Udall. Hang on. I got to rinse this glass now. Hang on. Can't be.
Yeah. Whew. I was really happy to say that all 9 of my glasses, including this one from Ardbeg, made it back in my luggage
That's pretty
unscathed.
awesome.
Right.
It's a lot of
I only
pasta.
brought 2 bottles back, and plus the one I did a blend bottle at Glengoyne.
Oh, nice. They're one of my favorite distilleries. That teapot dram is freaking amazing.
And they did not have that damn bottle when I was there.
No.
Or out.
Oh,
I know.
No, it's horrible.
And they've just released the new one, and it's like a third more than it was.
Ouch.
So I wish you could see the legs on that Corvecchian just hanging for its ever-loving life on the glass. It's beautiful.
Mm. Good grief. Peter White says the 7.1 Black Art is $280 in Canada, but it's $400 USD. That's crazy. Wow, that's a big difference there, Dustin. I can't believe that.
Wow.
I wish it was $280 here Canadian. That'd be $4. Wow. Guess we have to go to Canada for some things to be cheaper. I don't know what happened to Will and Sarah. They ran away apparently. Who knows?
Uh-oh.
I don't know. That's pretty funny. Oh, they pushed the wrong button, or they just, I don't know. It was pretty funny, though. I don't know where the hell they went.
Oh,
I'm sure they'll be back in a minute. It happens. All right. I don't know if it was just too much for the last drink or what happened to him, but that's interesting. But sure. All right. What else should we drink? Because it's delicious. Let's see. How about the more 15-year darkest? That sounds good.
that's funny. Jason Bacon Cat got serious. Cat said, "Give me the bacon, damn it."
Yeah. Here we go. They got
So Jason Coates and Brent Watkins came. Jason was down Thanksgiving to New Orleans, and we ended up going and having lunch at the Palace Cafe, and then we went over to the Sazerac House. So if anybody comes to New Orleans, we have a street even called Bourbon, but it's not a very Scotch centric place, which is why I take my own samples to stuff. But the Sazerac House, Sazerac brand actually distributes Glenfarclas. So that'll give you an idea. They bought Southern Comfort and reverted it back to its original recipe. It talks, it's a beautiful, and it's free. The whole thing is free. The whole interaction, there's 3 stories. You go through the coffee houses in New Orleans and how the cocktail started and how the Sazerac started from Sazerac cognac into the cocktail and then turned into rye. And it's really, really interesting, very Disney-esque interactive. And you get 3 samples of a Sazerac, a Manhattan, and a Planter's Punch.
What is a Planter's Punch? What's that?
A Planter's Punch is basically a lemon, lime, Myers rum, and some bitters. And the Pichot bitters that people make cocktails like an old fashioned with, and a Sazerac. Those are actually made in New Orleans as well. And so they've got a distillery in there now, and they're about to start distilling Sazerac rye at the Sazerac House in downtown New Orleans. So another reason to come on down to the Bayou, Sha.
Apparently.
I mean, this is an 8-hour drive for y'all. So get in the car and head on down.
Yeah. Sounds like a flying trip to me. 8
I'll
hours.
come pick you up.
There you go. Pick me up. There you go. That'll be perfect. Now, that sounds really cool to go there.
Yeah, that's a cheap Southwest flight for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Get to Love Field, and you're here in an hour and a half.
See, I used to have my own Southern Comfort because I was poor and in college. So you take Old Crow and peach schnapps and make your own Southern Comfort.
Yeah, so they extracted all that sweet stuff out of it, and they reverted back to the original recipe.
I'll have to compare my old bottles of it and get some new ones and see how the difference is.
Yep.
Interesting. Huh. Yeah, because usually I know my mom likes to have it with eggnog. She always uses the Southern Comfort and eggnog.
Mm-hmm. So we have a thing. Have y'all ever heard of boiled custard instead of eggnog?
Yep.
What is boiled custard? No.
Boiled custard or custard nog. I finally found it. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. That's pretty tasty stuff.
So what exactly is the difference in that and eggnog then?
Eggnog has more of that nutmeggy kind of eggy taste.
Okay.
And custard nog tastes like melted vanilla ice cream. And throw some whiskey into that, and it's like,
I love it,
please.
So that's probably even better then. So do you have to make it yourself, or can you buy it?
No, you can buy the carton of it like that.
Oh, I've never seen that.
But and Sarah, I just noticed your shirt. That is really cool. I need to find. Where did you get that shirt?
Amazon. Feed me whiskey and tell me I'm pretty.
I have to get that shirt. My favorite whiskey shirt is the one that says, "I'd rather be someone's shot of whiskey than everybody's cup of tea."
Yeah.
One of my favorites is I like my whiskey straight, but my friends can go either way.
Yes.
I have that one in the closet.
All right, and David.
No pun intended.
He's from Juliet Miranda's program.
Hello, David.
Show. If you guys have never checked her out, she does an awesome show every Monday night at 7.
Yeah, she does.
Central time. We had her on the show a few weeks ago. She's fantastic.
Eric was asking if that was the Oogie. I sipped on the Oogie. The Oogie was okay. I moved on to my final pour of the evening, which is the Octomore 8.3. Matt,
big guns.
Matt was kind enough to give me a little bit of the remaining bottle he had, which is not a whole lot left.
We're going to have to review this one really soon because there's not much left. And we need to review this one.
And this is one of my favorite whiskeys of all time.
Yeah, this is my wife's favorite whiskey of all time. She absolutely loves this whiskey. So we went to the vault last year. We didn't know what she'd like. And that's where she fell in love with peated Scotch. And she's like, how do I get some more Octomore? Octomore is amazing. Yeah,
wow.
So that's her favorite Scotch of all. She loves all Octomores in general. The peatier, the better for her.
Yep.
That's pretty much all she likes to drink. She won't drink any other whiskey except for peat. She has no interest. But yeah, I'll pour a little bit of this because it's delicious.
So, I mean, I know y'all are all about the education too, but the Islay Whiskey Academy was, I am unabashedly, unapologetically, resoundingly impressed. And I'm slightly high maintenance. My husband would tell you that for sure. And not always easily impressed at all. But it was first class the whole way. It was extremely reasonable price-wise. And you got exposure to things you just can't figure out how to do for yourself. You got access to people that you wouldn't have otherwise without going through Rachel. And she puts on a really good program. And it's if someone's wanting to get into a very a deep dive into Islay experience for 5 days, I could not recommend it more. And just still and pinching myself that I got to do something like that. It's pretty cool.
Very cool. And Joseph Brazes wants to tell us he just likes Scotch, but he does love bacon, so it's all good.
It evens out.
Joseph's a great guy. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Even if you don't like Scotch, we can always find one you probably will like at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Octomore is so good.
That it is. Octomore is delicious.
I just had to pour a little bit more of the Gorbeckian.
Not the faint of heart, though.
Mm-mm.
It will hurt you.
It hurts me in all the right ways.
I will set 2 alarms for the morning.
Yeah,
I will sleep very well.
I have like 3 set on Tuesday mornings. 5 o'clock comes way too early.
Well, my 4-legged alarms are more accurate than the one on my phone, I think.
Thankfully, ours don't do that, and I actually get up before anything else in the house. So
that is amazing you do that.
Anything else in the house.
That's true. I would actually pay to see that. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Eric, you know what, buddy? If you're in the area, we will absolutely film an episode with you filling in for Sarah if you hers.
You don't get to talk anymore.
Okay, that's fair.
Will has hit the adorable stage.
He's had 28 samples.
He's just absolutely adorable right now.
He can't help himself.
You go, Baconator. I love it.
On that note, it's about time to close for the evening.
This has been a lot of fun, guys. I really appreciate getting to spend this time and these drams with y'all.
Absolutely.
Right back at you, Leanne.
Lagavulin 12 because it's delicious.
Isn't it?
And cask strength.
Because why not?
56.5. So, I think it was a good, fun time.
Drink more water.
Obviously.
Everybody hit that like button. These guys are awesome, and they have a quality show. They have a lot of fun. Yeah. And again, big props to y'all for opening up whiskey of all kinds, E or no E, to folks, letting them know this is something you can try. Don't be scared of it.
Exactly.
Have a dram.
You're either going to
share
like it or
it.
not.
You'll find something you like eventually.
If you don't like that one, we'll find one you do. That's not a problem.
'Cause there are plenty out there.
That's truth.
Yep.
So remind us again where we can find you.
On Instagram and Facebook is Scotch on the Bayou, Bayou. And on scotchonthebayou.com is my blog. So I do bottle reviews and then just what I call the lanyap, and try to still get people an idea about life in Louisiana and different things that we do weird down here that the rest of the world doesn't do, which makes us a lot of fun. We have that joie de vivre, the joy of life, and we want to share that and our whiskey with everybody.
Yeah, go on out, find her, like her, follow her. She posts some fun pictures in there on Instagram.
Yeah,
Definitely.
have fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out our blog, it's a really cool blog. Definitely do. I enjoy reading it, so it's good fun times. So
Thank you.
thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. So for next week, everybody, we're going to have the Texas Whiskey Trail. We're going to have Spencer Whalen here. That's going to be a blast. We'll talk about all the different stops on the Texas Whiskey Trail. So once again, tons of whiskey to be poured here. Lots of samples of Texas whiskey. Oh darn, right? So that should be a fun. That's going to start at 9 o'clock, everybody, next week. So that's going to be a 30-minute earlier than usual since I was because you wind no longer on Monday nights. Moved to Sundays because of Bobby's job. So some nights may be starting earlier than others, but it'll be 9 o'clock next week, so we can get through the whole trail in a couple hours. So it should be a blast. Then tomorrow,
I don't need hours.
yeah, 2 hours. We can do it in 2 hours. It's all good.
Yay! 30 more minutes of drinking. Yay!
And then tomorrow,
That I don't need.
we're going to be doing the Slipknot. Both of them. I got one, and Travis Waller kindly donated us the number 9 Reserve, which is fantastic whiskey. Reserve, that whiskey is going to come out tomorrow with a review on those two. And then I guess on Thursday, are you going to release the one we talked about earlier today that I'm laughing at, or are we going to wait on that one? Yes. All right, so on Thursday is going to be Chicken Cock. And it was
Okay.
the best episode I ever filmed. It's freaking hilarious. I haven't seen it yet. I just know I had fun filming it, so I can't even wait to rewatch it. So the two of them have been giggling like crazy, apparently, watching it. So
The edit
so I can watch it.
The edit has been fun today.
Yeah, right.
Every 10 minutes or so, I'm sitting there editing the video, and I'm just dying
Giggling.
laughing. And Sarah has to come in and find out what I'm doing. The first 2 minutes were just epic to me. So
The outtakes on that one's gonna be fun.
yeah,
You revert back to a 12-year-old. It's awesome.
Pretty much.
yeah, we really did.
Especially since we already filmed a couple, so we've already had some whiskey beforehand.
It was a
So
good
it's
one.
even funnier.
It was a good
That's
one.
true.
You know, I do a really good chicken.
Gak.
Like,
That would have helped the video. Actually,
Oh,
that would have been.
you can have
That
that
would be awesome.
royalty free.
Can you send a recording of that so we can just start the video with
So stay tuned for that one Thursday. Hopefully, I won't die of laughing finishing.
Oh
the
my
edit
God,
of
y'all
that
are
one.
a hoot.
All I have left to do is finish the edit of the outtakes. So once I finish the edit of the outtakes, that'll be up. Yeah, so that'll be
outtake
done.
reel is almost as long as the actual
It
video,
really
It's hilarious.
so it's got to be cut down a little bit.
Yeah, it's
But,
going to be cut down a lot.
yeah. Anyway, look for that stuff coming out this week.
That's funny, guys.
Besides
This
that,
has been great. Thank y'all very much.
thank you.
Thank
we
you,
have enjoyed
Leanne.
having you here, and
I really appreciate it. And cheers, everybody in the chat, and we'll see everybody next week.
see you
All right,
next Monday.
see you, everybody.
Cheers.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Cock.